welcome back to another episode of Cavanaugh's Corner. Just want to say thank you for all of you that have been longtime subscribers, and just want to welcome anyone who's new to the channel here. Uh, Basically, I review 4K Ultra HD Blu-rays. I talk about their picture quality, the audio quality. If it's an older film, especially like one that we're reviewing today, if they did a good job actually enhancing the picture or pretty much anything like that. So today it's appropriate that, it's almost the 4th of July. And today we're going to be reviewing a movie that I enjoy. It's definitely not my favorite in the series, but it's a movie that is 45 years old this year. And I'm very happy that I got this early. I actually pre-ordered this months ago. And thankfully, it actually came in about 5 or 6 days early. It does not come out until Tuesday, which is ironically also the 4th of July. So this is right here, the all-new 4K of Jaws 2. So this is the second film in the Jaws series, and the only other one in the series now to get a 4K treatment. The original Jaws came out on 4K a couple years ago. That's a really good disc that I highly recommend, and it's just one of those perfect films, in my opinion. I love that movie. I can watch it over and over and over again. This one here is probably the only sequel that I actually appreciate. The other two, Jaws 3 or Jaws 3D, I really am not fond of that movie at all, and the effects in that have aged absolutely terribly. And Jaws the Revenge, let's not talk about Jaws the Revenge. So anyway, Jaws 2 here, it's 45th anniversary, and this is an all-new 4K restoration. The picture has been enhanced with HDR10 now, and really, this is a really interesting set. It's a two-disc set. It's the new 4K, the Blu-ray, and a digital code. Now, first thing I want to get out of the way is that the Blu-ray that's in this set is the exact same Blu-ray that was in the older Blu-ray release that came out, quite a few years ago. So that Blu-ray is fine. It's nothing really too special. But this one here is a new transfer. The 4K disc is new, and we're going to just jump right in and start talking about the picture quality, because this one here is a very, very interesting release from Universal. Uh, Upon the first couple, I want to say 20 minutes or so of the film, I noticed that the picture quality on this was very, very hazy. I think the word hazy is the perfect way to describe it. The movie is shot with a lot of filters, especially for the close-ups. Not all the wide shots. Some of the medium shots are very, very kind of a hazy, blurry kind of look. And it took me a little bit to realize that that's actually the source of the film. And I know this is probably going to get a lot of flack for the Blu-ray. The picture quality is probably not going to get a lot of great reviews, but I noticed that a lot of shots looked very hazy, almost kind of waxy, and then other shots looked crystal clear and really beautiful. That, I think, is an issue that exists from the actual source of the film. Going back and watching the movie on Blu-ray, I realized that that haziness is there all through the same scenes. And it really doesn't matter how you transfer this film, how you restore it, that haze is going to be there. It's not a DNR thing. There is grain all throughout the picture from the beginning to the end in every shot. And that haze is literally just a filter. It's an artistic choice made by the director. God, I always murder this guy's name. Janet Swark. It's a very hard name to pronounce. I apologize if I completely slaughtered that gentleman's name. but he did direct quite a few big pictures back in the day. He did this. He also did Somewhere in Time with Christopher Reeve, which is a really good movie, a very sad love story. It's definitely one of those tearjerker type movies, but he directed that, and he also did Supergirl, Santa Claus the movie. Again, he's done a lot of TV work over the years after those films, but that he used that filter a lot in his films. That hazy kind of dreamlike kind of look was something that he really went for heavy duty in this film from time to time. But I did notice there were times where he did not use that filter, and when that haziness is not there, this movie looks absolutely fantastic. Uh, when that haze is present, the detail level really drops off, but the movie still looks extremely good. The skin tones in this, with help of the HDR10, skin tones are very accurate. uh, Roy Scheider in this, who actually gives a really good performance in my opinion. I think he's great at returning as Chief Brody in this. He's really good in it, but he has a hell of a tan in this movie, and it looks really good. Like, the colors in this look fantastic. There's one shot in particular later in the film where the sun is coming in through a window, and it's this gorgeous orangey yellow color. It's beautiful, and that color palette has really been extended thanks to that HDR on this disc, but it's not ever to the point where it's blown out, it's way too saturated. It looks natural, it just looks enhanced, and it's way better than it was on the older Blu-ray. And other colors, there's a fairly large explosion about 20 minutes into the film where the shark attacks this boat and the boat blows up. That looks incredible. There's some really really good moments in here. The color of the water, the bluish greens. It's beautiful. It's a really really beautiful disc. The HDR gets the daytime scenes dead on. I mean, it is bright, and the picture does get very bright at times. But the detail level, again, is kind of all over the place, but that's not a problem with the disc. It's a problem with the source material. It's a problem with the film itself and the artistic choices made by the cinematographer and the director. And there's really not much more you can do about that. You just kind of have to deal with it. And that's the movie. It's just the way the movie looks. So if you can bear with it, there are some really great moments, and the movie looks amazing thanks to that new color palette and the enhanced definition, the 4K definition. It's impressive. It really is impressive. But it's hit or miss, and it's of no fault of the restoration. It's just the look of the movie. It's the movie itself. Now, as for the audio quality on this, sadly, the audio quality has not changed at all. It is the same DTS HD Master Audio. It's a stereo track. It's a 2.0. That's all you got in this. There really isn't much to really talk about. It's the same track that we had before. It's fine. John Williams returned to do the score for this one, and the music sounds great. The dialogue is clear 9 times out of 10. And I never had any issues with volume or anything like that. It's a fine audio track. I wish they could have done a little more work on this in terms of the audio. But it's the original audio track, and it sounds good. I'm glad at least we have that. It would have been nice to at least have some kind of a surround sound on this, especially on the 4K, or maybe even a Dolby Atmos or a DTS-X or something. But for what it is, it's fine. To have there's a scene where a helicopter gets attacked by the shark. That would have been really cool to have that in a Dolby Atmos, where the overheads are used for the helicopter and stuff. But it's really just one scene in the movie, and that's pretty much it. But uh, they really just didn't bother with it on this, and I understand why they didn't. It's a budget thing maybe, but it would have been nice to have. But the audio track that we've had for a long time now is still fine. It's just, again, it's just one of those things where I kind of wish you just had a little bit more. The other nice thing about this disc is that all the special features that were on the previous Blu-ray are actually on the 4K as well. There's deleted scenes, a making of documentary. There's a featurette about John Williams and how he did the music to Jaws 2, among some other things. It's a pretty good disc. Um, Thankfully, this is not going for a ton of money. Um, it's not, again, it's not the greatest disc I've ever seen. It's the best that Jaws 2 has ever looked. I will say that. Jaws 2, the previous Blu-ray, again, that's actually included in this. It's not a new Blu-ray. It was fine, but the 4K is really a step up in terms of picture quality, even though those hazy, issues exist. There's just nothing you can do about it. It's just one of those movies where I guess if you enjoy it, it's worth picking up because, again, it's better than the Blu-ray, but it's really not a huge upgrade where I would say it's a must-have. It's just it's a nice step up. It's just not an amazing disc that I would say you got to run out and buy immediately to see this thing because it's so mind blowing. It's really not, but it looks good, and it's again, if you enjoy the movie, you'll love seeing this in 4K because it's a beautiful picture. But just keep in mind the hazy factor. It's just a fact of life when it comes to this film. If you want to pick up Jaws 2, I'll leave a link in the description below, and you can use that link to buy this guy on Amazon. Like I said, it does come out on the 4th of July, funny enough. So if you do want to pick it up, I'll leave it in there. And if you use that link, it does help out myself and the channel here because anytime you use that, we do get a little kickback. It's very much appreciated if you do use it. If not, then it's totally fine. We appreciate you watching, and hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more reviews like this. It really helps us out here. We're trying to grow the channel, and any new subscribers are very much appreciated. Plus, it's free. You don't have to pay for that. So, as always, just want to say thank you so much for coming back to Cavanaugh's Corner. Until next time, please stay safe and take it easy.